constant 24-hour guard. We'll talk about that and more fun white rhinoceros facts as we sketch this little dude. So let's just turn the page and get started. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is darn near 6 o'clock on a Tuesday morning. I have no idea what happened, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your patience while you wait for me. My eyes are not even focused yet. I sat up in bed and saw that it was 5:50 in the morning. I was like, 5:50? How did that happen? I don't remember the last time I slept past 4:30. But anyway, here we are. I appreciate your patience. Usually at 5:30 in the morning on Tuesday mornings, I like to do a little thing where I pull a toy from the toy box, a random object from the Random Object Randomogrifier, if you will, and draw it and talk about it. And this morning's random object from the Random Object Randomogrifier is a white rhinoceros. Now, we do this every day at 5:30 in the morning, usually. And you may want to set your notification bell so that you don't miss any of them. And I may need to set a backup. You know what's terrible is my mom even called, and my phone, I guess it's in do not disturb. I have no idea what happened. I'm going to have to investigate that after the fact, because right now we're busy drawing white rhinoceroses. They're not white. They're called white rhinoceroses. There's a language called Afrikaans that is a descendant of the Dutch language and a mixture of the other languages around the area. And when the English people showed up and started documenting the animals in the area, the natives were talking about the rhinoceros, and they used the word white, W-Y-D, which is a Dutch word for wide, and the English misunderstood it and wrote it down as white. There's nothing white about this animal. That is a big spider on my table. There's nothing white about this animal. It's supposed to be wide, and it's a mention of their wide mouth, their broad lips, because they are. Can you see the big spider that's about to get me? I don't really want the spider on me. I got attacked by a spider live on television. Oh my goodness. He's probably still on me too. Well, of course, he's everywhere on me now. Ah, goodness. Anyway, they are grazers instead of browsers. And what that means is that they go along and they eat the grass off the ground. They go along and eat the plants off the ground, and so their lips are square and flat against the ground, as opposed to browsers who have the lips like this that pick things off of bushes and shrubs. The black rhinoceros, they separated from the black rhinoceros several million years ago. The black rhinoceros is a browser. That is the distinction between them. There are 5 species of I kid you not, I feel like that spider is everywhere on me now. There are 5 species of rhinoceros left in the world, and I believe the ones called white rhinoceros are the only ones that are grazers, and they have the square lips to pick at the ground. Do, 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 do. I can hear you laughing.
I'm sorry. You'll still be feeling the spider this afternoon.
I tell you that the worst part. The worst part is when, I like I don't. When I wear my helmet, for instance, on the motorcycle, and my beard turns around and tickles my face. Intellectually, I know what's going on. I know it's a hair sticking me inside my own helmet. But instinctually, it's a cockroach crawling across my face. And there's nothing more exciting for a motorcycle ride than to have the image of a cockroach or two or a spider running inside your helmet while you're going down the road. Can't do anything about it. That will absolutely affect your riding ability. Who's here today? Claudia? Rick? I saw Rick. Pamela? Cassandra? Good morning, folks. I appreciate your patience. I really do. I have no idea, and no excuses. I have no idea what happened, but I will research it to figure out a way for it to not happen again. I'm just shocked it took us over a year for it to happen the first time.
Rick says they're so glad all is well in the Manningville this morning.
Yeah, I'm sure my mom and dad were on their way over.
Oh, that's close.
Because not only did I not show up for the show, which I never do, but I didn't answer the phone. And I'm sure my mom and dad were like, "Okay, let's go get him. We got to go see what's wrong."
Really, I was going to give it a few more minutes and call Quinn.
Yeah, see, it's time for my boy to be running out the door.
I was going to call him and say,
make sure your dad's alive.
Yeah. Make sure your dad's alive.
She finally killed him. She finally killed him. 30 some odd years, and she finally killed him. Would you really be surprised? I mean, seriously.
He says you scared us all.
Well, thank you for worrying about me. I really appreciate the concern. I wish that I hadn't given you anything to worry about. And I do apologize for giving you the scare. But again, I am shocked it took us a year for it to happen the first time. My whole body is covered with spiders right now. I may never be able to look at a spider again. I may be traumatized. All right. I like the shape of that horn. The horn is made of keratin, the same material, the same material that makes hair and fingernails. It's not a real horn. They have a horn stub at the bottom, and then the rest of the horn is just interwoven hair type fibers that spin around and grow on top of it into a horn shape. Now it's just as hard as a fingernail, so it's still quite an effective horn, but it's not a true horn like a cow horn. It's again made up of the same stuff as hair and fingernails, and it is their demise because somebody in the Asian world convinced some emperor that that rhinoceros horn was good for longevity and could detect poisons and other such stuff. And so they began systematically killing these things just for the horns. I'm sure in the older days they ate them, but in the most recent years, since it's been illegal to harm them, since they've been endangered and it's been illegal, all they do is they roll up, they kill the animal, they cut the horn off, and they leave the animal for the vultures.
Rick says it's keratin protein.
Right.
Audie says we need to stop talking about spiders.
I'm not sure I can, Claudia. I'm not sure I can stop talking about spiders. But yeah, Rick, you're right. It's keratin protein. Oh. This is my favorite part of the process. Maybe this will help me calm down and not think about the spider. But they've been in the most recent years. The poachers just show up and they cut the horn off. They kill the animal. They cut the horn off and leave the animal. Don't even bother to take the animal with them.
That just makes me sick.
It just makes you sick when you think about they're extinct because of this. The northern white rhino is effectively extinct because of this, because there are only two females and they're elderly. There are only two females left, and they're elderly females. The last male died. His name was Sudan. He died in 2015. I missed this foot back here. He died in 2015. That just looks. And so the northern white rhino is effectively extinct. There's no way to bring them back. They've talked about using stored sperm and eggs and surrogacy to bring them back. They've talked about, but even if you did that, it doesn't change the fact that they're effectively extinct now. You'd have to bring them back in such numbers that there's practically no way to reinstall them once they're gone. There's no practical way to do that. There's talk of it, because nobody wants to live in a world without white rhinos, especially knowing the reason white rhinos are gone is so incredibly stupid. There is no evidence, not even anecdotal evidence, that rhino horn is anything more. You might as well cut off a peasant's ponytail and make a cup out of it. There's no evidence, not even anecdotal evidence, to suggest that this is true, that there's any medicinal benefit to drinking out of a rhino horn or chopping up a rhino horn and adding it to your soup. No medicinal evidence whatsoever, and never has been. Somebody decided to convince the emperor of it, however many thousands of years ago, and they've been poached and killed ever since. I'm unsympathetic to the people's cause on this one. You know, there are some things out there that they have like there are some things out there that they can say that makes sense. Like the thought that what are the birds that bring the babes that bring the babies? I'm drawing a blank. The thought that those birds brought babies. The timing was right. You know, they're. I can understand them being confused about stuff like that. The timing was stork. I couldn't for the life of me. I couldn't think of the word stork. All I can think about is spiders. Um, you know, there's stuff like the stories of the storks. I can see people believe in that because the timing is right. You can look out there and you can see it. There's anecdotal evidence to support it. There's things out there that do make sense, like you know moss, putting moss on a wound maybe helps infect it. Well, I mean it protects it from getting other stuff in it. So there's at least anecdotal evidence to suggest that the medicinal value exists. There's nothing. This is just killing an animal for the sake of killing it. Let me try this. Rick's trying to tell me that I'm going to ride to work with a spider behind my left ear inside my home. That's not very nice, Rick. That's not very nice at all.
We have Chelsea, an article.
Hi, Chelsea. Good morning. I need the vermilion, but I need it very watered down. I'm going to put a base coat of vermilion down. And then we'll go over it with a greenish gray. And that'll give it a kind of a living hue. Do. Mm.
Bobby wants to know if you'll be in time.
Oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm not going to be as early as I want to be. I'm not going to be late, but I'm not going to be as early as I want to be. I don't have to be at work until 8, but I like to be at work 7:15, 7:30. I don't, but I don't have to be at work until 8. Needs more blue.
overachiever. That's traffic.
Yeah, it really has more to do with traffic than anything, Rick. If I leave the house just in time to get there at 8, if I leave the house at 7, I get there almost right exactly at 8. But if I leave the house at 6:45, I'll get there at 7:15. So it really has more to do with traffic than anything else. All right, let me dry this real quick and then we'll ink it. It helps that this is not multicolored, so I don't have to think too much about that. You know, I went off on my tangent about poaching a while ago. Just knowing that these things were going extinct, 1,349 known animals were killed in 2015 alone, and that's just the ones. That's just the ones we can verify. 1,349, knowing that these animals were going extinct. The poachers still killed almost 1,400 of them. That's appalling to me, and it's bad business. I don't understand why they would do it when considering that it's bad business. When you think about if your business, if you get $50,000 per horn, why would you make it where there's no more horns? You know, I don't understand why at some point somebody didn't say, hey, I tell you what, let's develop a herd of these things, a private herd of these things somewhere, and we'll make it our business model to dart them and take their horns every 2 years because they grow back every 2 to 3 years. We'll make it our business model to harvest the horns every couple of years. But nobody ever did. Nobody ever decided that they could keep them and not continue to destroy the ones in the wild. But even today, it's still an issue. The two remaining females have to be under 24-hour surveillance, have to be under armed guard 24 hours a day to stop the poachers because those horns are going to be worth millions right now because they're the last two. There was experiments with making artificial horns that were made of the exact same stuff. They made lab-grown horns, and they wanted to flood the market with the lab-grown horns to make it unprofitable for the poachers. But then you have the issue of people buying a legal lab-grown horn and somebody buying an illegal poached horn, and the illegal poached horn person saying, well, I thought it was, they told me it was a lab-grown horn. So that didn't really work out very well. What they're doing now, though, is the conservationists are going out and anesthetizing about every other year and just cutting the horns off. It doesn't hurt the animal. It cost them, out of their entire budget, they spent 1.2%. Now I don't know what their entire budget was, but I know that the estimated amount of their budget was 1.2% of their budget to anesthetize and dehorn a little over 2,000 animals, 2,200, almost 2,300 animals out of the 15,000 animals that they have, and they stopped they stopped the poaching by 78% because there's no point. The poachers can't get in and get the easy ones. So the southern white rhino they thought was extinct in the 1800s, but then they found a pocket of them of about 50, and they nurtured them, and now they're back up to about 15,000 animals. So I wish they could have had that same effect with the northern population. But there is mine based on the photograph. The photograph is reversed for some reason. There is mine based on the photograph. Let's see it from my perspective. Do. Claudia's going to Zumba tonight. Thanks for coming, Claudia. Thank you for your patience. There's my rhino compared to the from my perspective. So that's what I did today. Tomorrow, what do we have tomorrow? What could it be? What could it be? What could it be? Oh my goodness. Tomorrow, it's a bingo ball with the 149 on it, which means that it is this toy that wouldn't fit in a ball with a corresponding tag of 149. And this toy is a larger, much larger than life Kent snail. So this is a Kent snail. These things are all over Europe. A Kentish snail. These things are all over Europe. They're both male. Each snail is both male and female. So in their egg laying capacity, they may mate with one snail as a female and then turn around a few minutes later and mate with another snail as a male. We'll talk about that and more fun Kentish snail facts tomorrow morning at 5:30 in the morning, should I manage to get up at 5:30 in the morning. 5:30 a.m. Texas time. So be sure and set your notification bell so you don't miss that. But guys, again, thank you so much for your patience. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you hanging out for me today. I can only apologize for being late. I do look forward to it every day, and today I literally did run down the stairs just to be with my arties, but be with my besties so that we can art together. Thank you so much for joining me. Be sure and tune in tomorrow. Same Artistic Biker time, same Artistic Biker channel. And we dance. We dance until somebody says they see me dancing. And that way we know that the lag has caught up with the stream. Hey, that preppy girl, Annie. Caught us just as we were dancing on our way out. We danced until we see somebody in the chat says they see me dancing, because that is how we know that the lag has caught up with the stream, and we know that I won't get cut off mid-sentence. It gives you a chance to click clicky thingies this way if you're on the horizontal, or this way if you're on the vertical, and everybody gets a chance to say hello and goodbye and ask questions and talk to each other.